Wow, that always excites me to hear that.
It's it either excites you or it blasts your eardrums. And welcome everybody to Intangible Commerce. I am your host. For those of you that are new, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Ray Roberts, joined by my friend and colleague, David the Yarborough Man,
Happy to be here. Happy to be here, Ray.
aka Mr. Dallas, Texas. What was that?
Mr.
1997. You were in the bodybuilding competition, right? Is that what it was? Wink.
Sure. Yeah, we'll go with that. As everybody you can't Google it. Google internet wasn't around.
Yeah, it
Not out
wasn't
there.
around back then. It wasn't a thing. So don't even try. Don't even
Nah,
try.
don't even try it.
Well, this is a crazy week in e-com. I was looking at a couple articles, and there's a few massive investments out there. There's a loan startup called Wayflyer, and I wouldn't be surprised to learn that they secured a large sum of money on their recent round of funding. But how much do you think, if you haven't heard the news, of course, how much do you think they were able to get in just take a guess?
$50 million.
$50 million is close, but it's $1 billion.
What?
Whoa! Yes, sir. $1 billion
Wow.
in capital investment from Neuberger Berman is recently made the jump. So they're I mean that's huge. But when you look at, I mean, I guess it makes sense, right? It's a loan startup, so like they're making their money.
That's a lot of money, though. When you talking the B's, the M's are one thing, the B's are another thing, and that's a lot of cash.
It is. So they've got over $2 billion in deployed loans already. This platform, it's over 3,000 customers. So
wow,
when you look at how much money is being transacted on that, it's kind of a drop in the bucket, really.
That is amazing.
I mean, not necessarily. I guess it's 50% of their total deployed, but still.
Yeah. No, that's impressive.
It's crazy.
It proves what's out there, and it proves that this market has the backing. If somebody really wants to do it, there's people out there looking for the opportunity to invest in that type of business.
What it makes me wonder too, like when you look at, we've got these big banks, right, that have fallen apart, fallen into crisis, and even collapsed over this year alone. We've lost, what, 3 or 4? Some decent sized banks too.
Sure.
Like 16th largest in the world, blah, blah. Is it a shift? And I don't know the answer to this question, but is it a shift? Is it, hey, we're traditionally doing things at a banking institute, but the new technology, the way things are, you can do 90% digitally with 60% fewer people managing the same number of accounts. Does it make sense to keep using these traditional banks or not?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about risk, right? And it's all about whether or not the banks themselves want to take the risk to be able to do these investments, or they're going outside. And I mean, I'm not on that side of the fence, so I've always been fascinated by how all that money changes hands. But it is pretty cool to think about that if you have an idea and you go out into the market, there's actually, besides going to the bank, because remember back in the 50s, you went and sat down with the guy at the bank and shook his hand and got a loan, right? And did what you did. And farmers did that for years. But now it's different. You got people that finance that stuff, and they got, their own little, groups of people that fund all that money in there. So, it's different.
It makes you wonder if it's, man, I hate to put things in a category of better or worse, but part of me does analysis that way and says, well, is this better or worse? If I look at the way things were done before, I've got, like you'd said, you've got Bob, Billy, Jenny, Joe, and they're in a room and, hey, we're making a deal, we're shaking hands, we're doing everything. But does that person's decision lend upon their perception of the person they're sitting across from? Is the digital banking better in the way that it removes the human interaction? In this side, I normally would say that human interaction is better, But part of me kind of thinks that maybe the human interaction in this case isn't. We can just look at it from the standpoint of, is it a good investment or not?
See, and to me, that's the same question that even the companies themselves seeking the capital are looking at. How much investment do I put into retail stores versus online only versus a hybrid model? I mean, you nailed it. Is that, and that's a great question. Too bad we don't have a poll we can run. Is that
We
human
do.
interaction?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
we
well,
can.
there you
Yeah.
go.
Oh,
There you
we
go.
can do
We should definitely do
it.
that because in reality, that's the question. Do people put a lot of emphasis on the people interaction of all these transactions or not? And I don't know the answer to that. I don't know how people feel about that. Of course, that takes us
Yeah.
down a whole nother path too. That says, do they go to the store? Do they only buy online? Do they go to the store to see what they want and then buy it online? Which is kind of that, I call that cheating. But
Right. Well, and you've got those grocery stores that are 100% buy online. So
mm-hmm.
you're not going anymore and walking the shelves. You're going onto your computer, laptop, phone, whatever,
Yeah,
and you're purchasing online. And I kind of personally I like that. What does it do for me, right? So I'm a busy guy. You're a busy guy. We're busy people this day and age. But
mm-hmm.
what we're doing is when we go online and buy that, I can take 30 minutes, hit my whole grocery list, and I can actually be in my house and check. Oh, do I need that? Do I need this? I can go look. So I'm not overbuying for one. I'm not
Right,
impulse buying for two because
right,
I'm looking at things on the shelf and I'm in the store. If I'm hungry, I'm going to buy more than when I'm not.
right,
The if I'm at my desk, if I'm at in my kitchen looking, nope, I got spaghetti, don't eat spaghetti.
right.
I personally really enjoy that. But on the flip side, my mother hates it. She
Yeah,
hates it. She would
yep.
never do it.
And I
See, I
think you'll
have to be
find,
there.
yeah, oh, absolutely. And I think you'll find that, talking about these investors and everybody else, I don't know if they necessarily need to have that meeting with our moms in that generation to strike that
You
deal.
guys can meet with my mom if you want.
Right, right,
She's
exactly.
really nice.
But that's really what it boils down to is, are they really interested in having that connection? And I don't know if that's the case anymore.
Well, and I will say this while we're on the topic of buying groceries online, there are two things that I never buy on online for grocery shopping. It's going to be my fresh produce and veggies and meats because they always give me the crappiest ones. Like
Yep,
are you picky like this? And I don't know, maybe you're not a veggie guy, but when I go and I'm looking at the peppers and the jalapenos and the poblano, I want to make sure it's a good pepper
sure.
or a good
Oh yeah,
squash or zucchini before I buy it or
yeah,
tomato. Like all the time, I used to make this mistake where I would buy it, I'd get this stuff, and it's like, dude, I basically need to make like a giant pot of vegetable beef stew right now because this is all going bad.
right. And it is interesting how these poor, you know, kids, they're not always kids, but most of the time they could be. They're doing the picking. Now
Yeah, a lot of them.
became
Yeah,
all of a sudden they got thrust into this position of make the right choice for all these people when they go pick their veggies, and that's a different mindset.
absolutely. And there's also certain items that I know they're never going to have. Like we can do another poll. By show of hands, where are my sugar free or no? It's what's it called? Dr Pepper Zero is
Mm,
my favorite drink.
that's your
I mean,
go-to,
just
huh?
in the world,
I just had
that's
it for the
my
first time the
favorite
other
drink.
day. Believe it or not, I found it.
What?
Yeah, we were at Bucky's. Shout out to Bucky's.
Shout out to
Uh,
Bucky's.
and they had it on, where you could get a cut. And I'm like, oh, Dr. Pepper
Ah,
Zero? I'll try that. And it was good.
that's my go-to. And my local grocery store stocks it, but not
Wow.
that much, and
Hmm.
so it's like always out. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm that guy. I feel like I'm in my 90s. I'm like stalking the pages. I'm looking. When do they restock this? I'm gonna set an alert for when they restock
Mm-hmm.
this, so I can go in and get it.
Yep. Speaking of soft drinks, there's an interesting deal I found the other day, and this is off the wall, but it got me thinking about what we discuss day after day and how we always complain the economy is so horrible and deals are lost, right? I mean, that's if you interview people, that's what they would say. Well, the other day I was at Kroger and they were running a special where if you bought 2 Coke products, you got 3 free. And I
Mm,
saw the sign and I'm like, well, what's the catch? No one
yeah.
gives you 2. And dude, literally, I bought 2 12 packs and got 3 free. So I'm like, did you raise? And they didn't. But I'm sitting there going, well, did you raise the price of the 2 12 packs? I've never, like, my mind couldn't comprehend that deal.
They're trying to turn that stock over, is what they're doing.
Well, and guess what? There was barely any Coke stock in there.
I bet that's where they start to really get rid of some product there. And
Mm-hmm.
speaking of getting rid of product, I was reading about, and I actually met a gentleman, so I don't want to call him out right now, but I'm speaking with somebody next week about planning a podcast episode. We're going to do a special deep dive because one thing I've noticed in ecom these days, and I think Dave, you even mentioned seeing this happen before, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's where you effectively are bartering and haggling prices based on what other sellers have something listed as. And when I think of the bazaars and markets in India, this is a very common thing in the Indian culture.
Mm-hmm.
And as India's e-commerce culture is now globally the fastest growing, it feels like there's this bleed over of culture from what used to be considered not an online thing is now an online thing, where I could go to a store and show somebody, hey, like, here's what the price is listed as online. Will you sell it to me at that price?
Mm-hmm.
And people are doing it. That is not a common American thing, but there are a few American companies that will
There are.
do it.
There are. Yeah, and I don't know. I'm not sure what industries adopt that. I buy a lot of car parts, and I know one of the larger car part folks has a big deal about we will beat anyone's price.
Mm.
They even take it so far as you just got to show them the website. And in reality, the website, I'm not saying it could be fake, but I'm saying I don't know how much research they do in the fact that it's not like some stores will say, well, you can only do it from these certain websites, right? But they're
Mm-hmm.
like, we don't care. If someone's got it cheaper, we'll beat it. So I think
Which is
that does
incredible.
exist. Yeah, but I don't know but I don't know what certain industries, I don't know if it's,
Absolutely. And I think it's important to understand more about this e-commerce culture in India and how it's booming and growing and changing and how the global market is going to be shifting as a result of it. I'll give you some numbers here. The online fashion industry in India is on a blistering trajectory right now. The fashion market is expected to hit $35 billion by 2028.
wow,
But that's only 5 years away. It's right now sitting at 11 billion,
that's
which is
incredible.
incredible growth.
Yeah.
Incredible growth. The second largest consumer category in India. So the whole fashion and lifestyle is
Hmm.
valued at 110 billion dollars.
I think a lot of that too has
That's
been
a lot.
pushed by, has been pushed by, influencers and, I get served ads all the time about, oh, you need to buy this on Amazon or these are the things, the life hacks you need to have in your house or your garage or whatever it is. And
Yeah.
I'll look, I mean, but I don't necessarily buy, but I will find every once in a while, I'll find something like, yeah, that's a really good idea.
I mean, some of the life hack stuff, it's pretty cool. I'm a victim of that actually. So travel a lot for work, and I saw it wasn't an ad. Now this was clever, so it did link back to a product, but they didn't start with the product.
Hmm.
They started with the number one question in consumerism. And the number one question, if anyone out there has ever sold a product or went in front of an investor to try to get money for a product, I've been down that road before. The first question they're going to ask you, why do people care? Or why should people care?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You got this product. Maybe I'm selling this charger cable. Why
Yep.
should people care about raisedchargercable.com?
Mm-hmm.
So they gave me this ad, and the ad was a news story about how easy it is to break into any hotel room ever by the front desk. You simply in
Yes.
this they went. It was crazy. They walked up to the front desk. Right? Maybe I'm going to start selling this product for these folks. But they walked up to the
Yeah.
front desk, and the guy said, "Hey, can you give me the card for? I lost my room key. It's number 1428. I really got to go. I got to hurry. Got a thing." And he acts like he gets on his phone, and the person at the counter doesn't challenge him. They feel uncomfortable because he's being aggressive. And he's like, I'm big important business. I got to, hey, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm getting the key right now. Thank you so much. They gave him the key. He
Wow.
goes, unlocks the room, and there's the news people in the room, of course. And he's like, it worked. It worked.
Wow.
Every single time they did it, 100% success rate. It worked.
Wow.
And they bled that into some very horrific stories that I'm not going to talk about of victims who this has happened to, that were stalked by people and they got their room key and waited till the middle of the night type thing. It was
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
And the very end of that was just an image of their product. And their product is a room key lock. You open the door, it slots into the thing that the door lock would go into. It slots in there. You close the door back, you lock it, and there's this little like bolt thing that goes onto it. And you cannot open the door, even if you have the key. You cannot
Wow.
open the door. It will not
Wow.
open. So I bought 4 of them. Because it was a 4-pack. I'm like, well, what if I got the front door, and then sometimes you got the adjoining
Yeah,
room
the side
door?
door. Yeah.
Right. So they got me, but that's why I care about that product, because it resonates with me. So,
It
like you
does.
said, they're listening, but in this case, man, that company is smart.
Well, that's marketing 101. Think about all the commercials you see for, has this ever happened to you? Uh-oh. And they always follow, here's the pattern. It's always a problem, a horrible attempt to get rid of that problem, like, oh, I'm
Right.
fumbling and dropping crap everywhere, and then the solution. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then the solution. The solution. In fact, so here's my travel story. So again, we travel quite a bit, and I was on plane last 2 weeks ago, I guess. And you know how you're sitting on the tarmac waiting. I get hot.
Mm.
I just get hot,
Oh,
and sometimes
same.
the air is not on 100%, and it's just you're sitting there
Oh.
and you're sweating, and so I look beside me, and the flight attendant has this little fan,
Oh.
and I'm like, that is brilliant. So I was like, where'd you get it? And she's like, of course, Amazon. So what did I
Of
do?
course, Amazon. You bought
Went
one.
online, bought one while I was sitting there. It arrived at my house, and now it stays with me, and lifesaver.
I love it. And so now that I'm aware, and this is one of the things. Let's follow this journey, right? You just told me about a product that resonates with me as well. I wasn't aware of these portable
Yeah,
fans.
I didn't know.
When you said it, it makes the most sense ever. Why Ray? Why? And all the people listening are probably also saying, who doesn't know about this, are also saying, why the heck didn't I know about this?
I
It's
know.
so obvious.
I know. And it happens all the time. I mean, I've been flying for years and never had one, and I knew they existed. I just never put two and two together.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Same. It's like, wait a minute. I never even thought about that. Now I'm thinking, heck, I want 2. Let me show you something I have. You know what this is?
Like, maybe put your phone on it? I can't tell.
All right. So when you're on the plane and you have to put your devices up, right? You can't have
Yep.
your tray table down.
Yeah.
Well, who wants to hold their iPad or iPhone? The tray table opens. This clips onto it. You close it
Ah,
back and shut it. And so now you've got a little holder, and you can put your phone on it and watch your movies, or your iPad can sit on it and
nice.
watch your. So you don't even need the tray table. It's called a
That's pretty
Sky
cool.
Clip. Shout out Sky Clip. Amazon again. You can buy these on Amazon. It was like, I don't know, $2. I had like a 3-pack.
Wow. But see, what we just did is what is happening every day
Every
in
day.
our industry, which is what's driving that traffic to Amazon and Temu and You
Ah!
name it. I know it is.
Red alert! Red alert!
I know. I know. Boy, they are marketing hard to try to get
I'm
you to buy
censoring
stuff from
that.
them.
I'm gonna censor that. It's coming
It's
out.
going to go like this. It's going to go Amazon and is
Beep.
going to have a beep
Yeah,
like I
I
cussed.
have.
They're going to be like I cussed.
Yeah, I have the
That's too
strategically
funny.
placed beeps. You know, I could do an episode where it looks like you're cussing the whole time. You'd be
That would
like,
be actually classic.
have you guys ever seen the beeping thing? And I was looking at the beep.
That actually would be really funny. We could do it
But
for
you
like
made
a
a good
Christmas
point.
episode of bloopers.
Oh, yes, there we go. Bloopers
Mm-hmm.
episode of Dave cussing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I lost my train of thought there and I got it back. Slow train coming. Here we
Yep.
go. What you'd mentioned about, hey, this is how marketing is done, this word of mouth, and people who are listening to and watching, thank you very much for one. But it's amazing how just now probably everybody learned something. There's either one of the two products they didn't know existed. One's the clip, one's the fan. And they're probably going to go, hey, guys, don't do it yet. Let's wait till after the episode before you get on your Amazon. But they're probably going to go check these products out and see, is this right for me? And start exploring that product. And then inside of that, Amazon's going to feed you other things. And it thinks,
Yep.
hey, oh, you're getting this. You're going to want a battery pack to go with it. If you get the battery
Yep.
pack, you're going to want the backpack to carry the battery pack, et cetera, et cetera. That's exactly what makes this world go round. And it's having the ability to get these products to people quickly and have that experience come through. Like the last thing you want is to do all this only to have it not work. But at the end of the day, it's that word of mouth, and those reviews are really important. I'll say this for all my brands out there. I know this is a problem I struggled with when I was selling T-shirts. I'd sell a T-shirt, you know, and maybe I'd have a repeat customer buy 4, 5, 6 times, whatever it might be. More like 3, let's be honest. Never leaves a review, right? Until after maybe that third purchase, fourth purchase, then they leave a review. It's like, oh, I keep coming back. But after the first purchase, no review. Unless it's a bad experience, and then it's a negative review.
Of course.
And that is such a difficult thing that you struggle with out there. So I'm glad to see that there's still continuances of this crackdown on Amazon from fake reviews. On other places, the Federal Trade Commission, or not Federal Trade Commission, Consumer Protection Agency has gotten involved as well and started handing out fines. But recently, they've handed out prison sentences.
Wow.
There was a DVD company. All right, so let's walk down this path together. When's the last time you bought a DVD?
Oh my gosh. 15, 10, 12 years ago? I don't know.
It's been a while. It's been a while. So I guess it's still a thing on Amazon where DVD sales are still there. And there was 4 companies and 3 individuals were charged and sentenced. One of them got 18 months in prison. It was a suspended sentence, mind you, but they were price fixing. So they were hiking the price. They had colluded and agreed, hey, let's set our price is higher than normal. And they played the long game, so all the other DVDs got sold out really quickly. And then they were the only game left in town. So they were buying up all these DVDs, selling them at a higher price. And then the feds got involved and charged these folks. Makes you wonder, though, if I'm an Amazon merchant, shout out to my Amazon merchants out there and vendors, they can shut me down for anything they want. Anything. And it happens all the time. There's law firms who specialize in getting you back up on Amazon. How come Amazon didn't see this?
Right. Yeah. You'd think that'd be one of the first red alerts they would have is, hey, why we've seen a spike in price, or we've seen multiple, I don't know how their algorithm
they can
work
see
in the
it.
background, but they know it's happening.
They know it's happening, and they let it happen for over a year. It went on for like almost a year and a half, almost 2 years, something like this. So it wasn't like it was a 2-month thing. Oh, we didn't see it. It went on for a long time. They definitely saw it. Now, they may have been the ones who report it, but they could have stopped it.
Yeah, you would think so. Unless there's a way, Man, DVDs, that's such a crazy, it makes you think though,
I
does that
know,
happen to
right?
other stuff? Have they done it with other things that maybe we
I'm
don't think
sure.
about?
I'm sure it has happened. And that's why I always shop. And I'm still one of those ones that'll go on Google first
I
because
do.
it gives me a lot of different results from a different set of companies. And Amazon's one
Mm-hmm.
of them, but not
Mm-hmm.
the only one. So, like, you
Yep.
could get a better deal somewhere else or avoid a scam.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I did that the other day. I mean, if I need something, it's always Google, and then from there you can kind of see what's out there, and then you start to understand pricing, and then you start
Yeah.
making your decision. Then you get your shipping and all that stuff you want to take
Right,
consideration.
and you got different review sites as well, so you can check if you, especially if it's a big purchase. PSA, make sure you're checking different websites for different reviews, so you can really understand what you're buying.
Yep, that's
And check
exactly
the
right.
size descriptions.
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to get a little bitty shirt when you thought it was a men's extra large and it ends up being a toddler extra large.
Or a TV. Have you ever seen those train sets? Like the
Mm-mm.
trains where the train goes around, it looks
Oh
like a
yeah,
village and all that. You've
yes,
seen that
yeah.
before? Do you know how expensive those things are? One of them
Oh
trees.
dude.
My father-in-law did this for a long time. One of those trees, just one, it was like $20.
Mm.
I'm not even kidding. In the towns and villages and all that, you could end up buying a flat screen TV for like
Mm-hmm.
$600, and you would get like a train set size one. Like, these things have happened. This is like
Right. Oh
this
yeah.
is this is real life.
Yeah. No, absolutely. When you're have that much money changing hands, absolutely. I 100% agree that any of that's possible, and it's fascinating. We could probably find numerous cases of all that.
Check, check, check. Always take a look at that.
Absolutely.
Especially as things keep growing and you get more and more online. Um, you really got to pay attention to what's out there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Bringing this back to banking, I did want to. I came across this topic of, and I didn't know this was a thing in China. It's called shadow banking.
Hmm.
You know what that is? Have
No,
you ever heard about
sounds
that?
scary. Nope.
It does sound scary.
Mm-hmm.
So, shadow banking, according to voanews.com, shadow banking refers to a sector of Chinese economy that funnels money into a wide range of investments across multiple sectors of the economy outside of traditional banking. So I don't necessarily think that really explains to me what it is, but why it's important is that they're about to lose $38 billion.
That's a lot of money.
Uh, it's a lot of money, and it's they basically, I mean, they were making payments on auto loans and all sorts of different types of loans. It's a government run bank. So I think it's like a communism thing. I don't know exactly how this works, but maybe it's like, hey, I get the car from the government and the government's paying the bill for me as long as I'm
Interesting.
working or something. I'm making this up. I have no idea. So viewers, if you are aware of this, shout out. I would love to get an episode, a topic to understand what does that mean and why
I don't
should
like
we
I don't
care?
like shadow anything because shadow reminds me of
Yeah,
someone watching me or trying to see what I'm doing. You never want the government involved in anything shadow, if you ask me.
absolutely. Absolutely. So it really makes you wonder because we hear a lot about the news about China's economy overtaking the US
Mm-hmm.
economy. But when you've got companies like this that are controlling, this
Mm.
group, mind you, holds $90 billion in assets, right?
Wow.
And they failed to make payments on vehicles and all sorts of stuff. And so they were like, hey, what's going on? If this $90 billion asset company, which is, I mean, just gigantic. That's
Oh
almost a
yeah.
trillion. That's or oh, not a
Yeah.
trillion. Yeah, it is actually. It's close. No, it's not. I'm doing math
Yeah.
in my head. It's
A
too early for
hundred
this.
billion.
I'm
Be a
like, wait a
hundred.
minute.
It's $100 billion. Well, to put in perspective,
Did
it's a
you see the
hundred
hamster
billion.
get on the wheel?
Right. Right. I'll bail him out.
Bail
No.
me out.
Here's another way of looking at it. This will make you sick. It's 100 billion, which is half of Jeff Bezos' worth, right?
Ah, only half. Only half. Wow. Imagine having that kind of money. I mean, that's what. How do you handle that? when someone asks him about what do you think about poverty and hunger in the U.S., and he's thinking, oh, I could probably solve that with
Yeah,
a third of my assets,
yeah.
but I'm not gonna.
It's like I heard a story about they asked LeBron James about how did you know when you were rich? He goes, when I quit looking at price tags when I go to the store.
Yeah, yeah.
That's when
He's
you
like,
know
I don't
you have
care what it
money.
costs. I can.
Yeah,
I don't care what it costs. Yeah.
I can afford
Well,
it.
the shadow banking industry doesn't care what it costs either because they're just not going to pay for it.
Yeah, there's two
Apparently.
ways. That's a different way of doing it. That just says I'm just not going to pay for it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna cover that. Well, I mean,
Mm-mm.
it's like, how concerned should we be? How inflated are those numbers? How do we really know? Like, I guess we can, based on the number of goods and things coming in and out of the country,
Yeah,
and how we perceive money to work in an economy. But when you've got this shadow banking, and they're basically saying whatever they want to say, reporting whatever they want to report,
right.
it's government run as well. It's like the people are losing trust or have lost trust. Obviously, I wouldn't
Well,
trust it.
it's no different than, I mean, so hearing a statement like China is catching the U.S. in for their economy, it's like, is it really? It's the same thing when they used to talk about, oh, China's building a fifth generation fighter jet to compete with the F-22. No, they're not. I mean, yeah, they might have built one, but can it compete directly? No. We've seen what
Yeah,
Chinese parts do.
yeah. It
It,
to that point. I don't want to go too far down this path because it could lead into some yucky territory. But unfortunately for China, it gets its radar systems from Russia, and one of Russia's fifth generation fighter jets was shot down in a certain war that's going on,
yep.
and that radar survived the crash. It was captured,
So now they can
and
see what it's all about.
now it's in the hands of the Western allies,
That's hilarious.
as
Well,
they're
but
called.
it's like everything
It's
else.
crazy.
You only they can say anything they want.
They can.
The same way with their economy, the same way with anything. And so, anytime you start saying just stuff, that's all it is. And it's true here too. We hear it all the time with people making boisterous claims
Absolutely.
about various things.
Did you hear that we've got 10,000 subscribers?
I think that could be a lie.
No, I swear it's true.
Check, yeah, check down at the bottom and see if that's true. I wish. We'll get there someday. We'll get
Well,
there
we do
someday.
have quite a few, and they're across all of our platforms. We're growing by the day, and it's been a pleasure to see everybody engaging with the content and getting feedback on it. So, thanks to everybody who comes out and listens to us
Oh
ramble
yeah.
on about basically nothing for about a half hour or so.
Yep. I think we have 9,500 shadow subscribers.
Shadow subscribers. Shout out to all my shadow subscribers out there. Oh, and on
They're
that
everywhere.
bombshell, it's time to end. Dave, send them away.
It has been a pleasure talking intangible commerce today, and I hope everyone learned something about shadows.
We're gonna get that William Shatner out of this guy one of these days. Is Shatner from Texas? Oh God!
Shadows.
Oh dear Lord!
That's what the slow talk is when you do it when you don't say That's my ums hitting. See?
Okay, I see. I understand now.
Just bring
I
it
understand.
down. Slow it down.
Hey, so I think that is something that I need to work on. Then is allowing you the space to be who you are in this world.
Correct. That's exactly right. No, it's good
Hey,
times. Good times, Ray.
all right, folks. Well, thank you so much, and I hope you all have a wonderful and beautiful Wednesday.